How are you? I'm Dr. Muso. Today we want to talk about the liberation struggle that occurred in Zimbabwe. We want to talk about the so-called the front line states, which were the countries that were known as the front line states. We had Mozambique, we had Zambia, we had Angola, we had Botswana, we had Tanzania. These were known as the frontline states. These were the countries that assisted Zimbabwe to be liberated in 1980. Zimbabwe eventually attained its independence. Why? Because of the assistance that it got from the front line states. We see that the front line states now, they gave Zimbabwe, they gave Rhodesia different assistance leading to the independence of 1980. Let's start with Mozambique. Mozambique gave the Zanla forces bases in Tete province, and also Zambia, Tanzania, they also gave military bases to the Zanla forces. So Zanla forces, they were housed in Tete in Mozambique. They were also housed in Zambia and Tanzania. We also see that these frontline states, they were homes to the nationalist parties. They were homes of the nationalists during the liberation struggle. We also see that ZIPRA operated from Zambia, where it was also given its base. The frontline states, they gave moral support to the nationalists. They gave moral support to the people in Zimbabwe, eventually Zimbabwe gaining its independence in 1980. Then we also see that the frontline states, they gave guerrillas food, they gave them also weapons, they also gave them military training, and they also gave them diplomatic support. And we also see that they to set up refugee camps, and by so doing now accommodating people in Zimbabwe. So they played an important role. We also see that these frontline states, they negotiated for peace. They agitated for peace so that peace was going to take place in Zimbabwe. We also see that they also were homes for peace conferences. Peace conferences, they were held in their countries, trying to make sure that Zimbabwe was going to be eventually liberated. And we also see that they also allowed dead veterans to be buried in their own countries. So many veterans, so many fighters, they died in foreign lands and they were buried in these frontline states. We also see that they also allowed the liberation movements to have radio stations. There was a radio Maputo in Mozambique whereby communication was done. So by so doing, the liberation of Zimbabwe eventually took place. Why? Because of the communication that was taking place. They also encouraged organizations such as the OAU, the UN, the NAM, and also the socialist countries to support Zimbabwe to be liberated. So we see these frontline states taking an active part in the liberation of Zimbabwe. Thank you so much. I'm Dr. Muso.